And then there's a C-clip that I gotta pop out. I gotta figure out how to pop it out. That might suck to get back on. So I'm pretty sure that this transmission has been taken apart already in Japan. You can see the red RTV. Hopefully that doesn't mean anything bad at least. And then the last one is right here, and this basically just holds it all together. And there should be like a spring and a ball in here, which I just heard fall. I've never done this before with one of these transmissions, but I think you're just supposed to, it just lifts off or something. I don't know if I'm gonna show you me struggling, but you need to remove both of these from the front bearing. Hopefully nothing's messed up now. I hope I didn't mess anything up. It was splitting more from right here and I couldn't figure out why. Man, that looks mint. Nothing stands out to me as damaged or anything. The instructions weren't very clear. You don't take that C-clip off. It just says, remove the snap ring holding the washer on the shaft rod and the C-clip around the front main bearing. I misunderstood that, but that's on me. Now you know. Right here we have a 16 by 16 by 16 inch box that I got from Office Depot. I'm gonna put the bell housing in a garbage bag so that in case any of that trans fluid drips out, it doesn't make the box soggy. Here's everything that the kit includes. New shifter bracket, Transmount, shifter, plates for the transmission, bolts, drive shaft, and then the adapter plate. We'll look at that after I get this on. I already started putting RTV on both sides of that, so I want to get this on before that cures too much. I really hope this doesn't leak or I'm gonna be pissed. I guess you just gotta jiggle it a tiny bit. Oh my god, I hope this doesn't explode now. I apologize for the bad filming job. It's winter. It gets dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Tried to put better lighting in here, but I also got a better camera too, hoping that would help, but apparently it didn't. I got the bell housing back on. I snugged up the bolts, let the RTV cure for an hour, and in the meantime, while I was waiting for that to dry, I edited what I had filmed of this video so far. Since I started filming this video quite a while ago, I just wanted to see where I was at, and I think we're gonna put the engine back in the car in this video too. That'll be fun. I let the RTV sit for an hour, and then I hit it with the impact, torqued it all down, just like the Permatex instructions tell me to. You can see we got a nice bead there. I didn't put like a crazy amount on. Rate my my RTV job. I think I put just the right amount on, and I don't think it'll be a big problem. I don't think, hopefully we won't have any leaks. Now we gotta put the clips on, and then we can put that on. And after that, we can put the shifter on. I'm gonna take the engine mount off once we get it up, bolted up to the engine, but I'm not gonna put the Transmount stuff on until the engine's in the car because it's gonna be really annoying and get caught on stuff. I'm not gonna impact these on because what happened to, this is a new Transmount first off, and the one that I had in the car, I impacted and one of the bolts started spinning inside, so I'm just gonna do it by hand. And ideally I should probably use a nut that has a nylon locking nut. I really don't want to risk this leaking, so you're probably not going to be able to see this, but I just put the smallest amount of RTV I could on it. Black Ultra. This is the clutch and flywheel that I'll be using. It's a Comp Clutch KA twin disc. The Mazworks kit lets you use a KA clutch and flywheel and starter. With other kits, I've seen people use RB.25 flywheels with 350Z clutches. I don't know if you can do that with this kit or if it's just for the KA clutch, but I chose to just go with the KA clutch because I know it would work because that's what they recommend using with the kit. This is my first twin disc, and first thing we gotta do is put this on. Here we have ARP flywheel bolts and a 1/4 inch 12 point. Do not forget this. It doesn't say in the instructions if you're supposed to use this or not, but I think you are. Blue Loctite. I don't know if that was too much, but it's really important that you clean off your clutch and your flywheel with brake clean. You do not want any of that like penetrating oil on there. It'll eat up your clutch, and that's what they recommend. I just sprayed all of the clutch discs and clutch packs with brake clean, so they're all clean. I would recommend doing that too. Blue Loctite again. 18 foot-pounds for the flywheel. I already got it up to 15. The instructions really don't say a lot, but I'm gonna assume that you put Loctite on these. And the instructions don't even give me like torque specs on this, so probably just ooga-dooga it quick. As soon as we got the engine in the car, I felt really motivated, so I put the camera down and I just finished everything up, and here we are. As soon as everything got bolted in, shifter was in, drive shafts was bolted up, everything was done. A couple of days later, saw a little C-clip sitting right here. The only part of the car that uses a C-clip is the transmission, so I got really nervous, and being a YouTuber has saved my ass a couple times, so I hopped on the computer, went back into the video editor, and I did in fact find out where I missed that C-clip. I guess it just slid under the garbage and I missed it when I was putting everything back together. Do not forget that C-clip like I did. Even back when I had the Civic, I never have taken a transmission out of a car. While it's in the car, I've always taken the transmission off with the engine out, and it's something I never wanted to do. I called the boys over and we had that thing out and back in within an hour, so I was really surprised how well that went. It just slipped right on. I did have to hammer a little bit on the top of the tranny tunnel and on the driver's side a little bit to get some room to wiggle it on and off, but we're good now. And earlier in the video, I forgot that this is the thrust bearing. Big idiot move. I kept trying to align the clutch with this on, so the tool wasn't able to get onto the second disc, and that was why the transmission was fighting me to get on. Took that off, then everything was all good. Wiring Specialties sells a speed sensor pigtail, so I just spliced that into my harness. I also got a Clutchmaster's clutch damper too, with the fitting that comes in it, which would be the biggest hole. With this clutch being so aggressive, that'll help make it a little more drivable, and it'll help save my drivetrain and my axles and all that too. I have a friend who has a over 500 horsepower JZ Kuki, and he has a triple disc. He had a problem where he was clutch dumping going into the corner and exploded both the axles. He put one of these in it with that same fitting that comes in it. It comes with two others, but he suggests I started with the one that came in it at first, and he hasn't had any problems with it since. And now that leads us to the shifter. I asked the KA group what they use to seal off the hole for the shifter, and people gave me some suggestions, but I have two friends who commented telling me that the Mazworks shifter was really bad and rattled really crazy. The shifter on the car with the brass bushing, when I got the car, it rattled really bad. It was horrible. I'll put a clip in. So I definitely didn't want to deal with that again. They recommended that I got the Z1 shifter, and that's what this is. The Mazworks shifter just uses a normal bushing and a little rod that goes through it. When you tighten it, you really feel the resistance, and it doesn't want to shift smoothly, whereas the Z1 shifter uses roller bearings, needle bearings, whatever, and it feels a lot better. I just cut the bottom off of the rubber shifter boot that comes factory, and I just wedged it in there, put the plate on, and now it's good and it's pretty sealed off. The biggest problem with this kit is really how close the shifter is to the edge of the trim. It's hard to tell, but it's pretty close, and that's a problem because we don't even have the shifter boot on. There's a little trim piece that sticks out, and when I put that stuff on, it does not go into first or second gear. I trimmed out the corner like that, and it definitely helps, but this does not. This has never wanted to stay in that trim piece, and I always had to kind of push it up, and eventually it would fall back down. So I ordered a whole replacement bezel, boot, and everything from G2 Carbon. I'm still waiting on that. I'm going to trim it like this, and that should be good. If the leather is too thick and it won't allow it to go into gear, then I will get a shift boot made out of this suede. I would prefer not to. I kind of liked that it was black, but we'll see what happens. On that Facebook post too, people are telling me that I should get the excessive shifter bracket, that would put the shifter back in the OEM spot, but honestly, that was complete oversight on my part, and I'm kind of upset that I did that, and I'm kind of committed to making this work, but maybe in the future I will get the other one. Honestly, I'm really not a short shifter guy. I think that's kind of something you grow out of, and I really like just how smooth a stock shifter is. If I could do this again, I would get the Mazworks adapter, and then I would get the excessive tranny mount and shifter bracket with the Z1 shifter. The Mazworks transmission mount kind of doesn't fit very good, and I had to use a drill bit to drill the holes bigger, and then it fit a little better. If I really wanted to, I might be able to drill the holes out a little bigger and slide it over a little more. But yeah, that's really my only gripe with this whole thing, is just that the shifter is a little bit too far back, and it's at a good spot. These cars were meant for Japanese people, skinny women, and I'm a tallish American, and I sit a little bit further back, so the shifter's a little bit farther away, and with how the shifter was normally, it was just a little bit of a stretch getting it into fifth. I think that it's actually in a really comfortable spot. It just sucks that it's so close to the trim that it kind of creates a problem. If it was just a little bit further forward and over, that'd be great, but I'll try making this work. The shifter does feel good for being a short shifter though, and you're probably wondering how that interferes with the handbrake. So you'd be handbraking in second. it's just out of the way enough, so that definitely won't be a problem when I'm drifting. And I think that's pretty much everything. I can't really think of anything else. Well, I'll let you know how this swap goes, and hopefully there's no problems with it. We can run through the costs real quick. The transmission was $1,300. The comp clutch and flywheel were $1,400. And then the Mazworks kit was $1,500. So it was about $4,300 total, plus the clutch damper was a little bit. I'm not going to include that. And then I also got redline transmission fluid. And I think it was like $40 or $60 to ship that bell housing. But yeah, not cheap. If I can do this swap, you can too. Like I said, subscribe and just check out the future videos, and I'll let you know how this tranny swap goes. But as for this video, I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching, and see ya.